Hey there, Heather. Hello there, it's Jeff Cutter. I'm welcoming you to the year-end Augusta tournament for 2023. 18 golfers from each of the 4 tours. One tour was from the 40s and 80s, 60s and 70s was another tour, earlys and 2000s, and 90s and 2010s. 12 champions of tournaments once per month, and 6 wild cards get in to make a 72-person tournament here at Augusta. And we'll be going through all the players and all of that. Today's focus is just on the first hole as they'll be introduced, and then we'll just do the first hole from there. We will be doing 18-hole coverage tomorrow because that's the last hole for potentially tons of them, because it's top 20 and ties get into the weekend for the big tournament. Saturday we'll have Amen Corner, and then on Sunday we'll have final coverage of the final 2 groups and the 18th hole for everyone else. So here we go. On the tee from the Earlys League from Scotland, Jamie Anderson. Jamie Anderson comes up first. He won the tournament in June at Pebble Beach. And he's going to be a little bit to the right. On the tee from the United States in the 1980s, Fuzzy Seller. Fuzzy Seller from the 1980s. He won at East Lake in August in the 40s, 80s. And to punch his ticket in, right around that bunker, but he's in a divot. Divot, divot, divot. On the tee from the 1970s, Howard Twitty. Howard Twitty, who won the first tournament of the 60s, 70s at Shinnecock Hills. Match play. That's how he got in for this tournament. Anderson's got a tight angle. He's got to play it, and will draw back. No, he won't. Twitty. Up and a little bit over. Head. Seller. Down the wrong lengthy putt. Howard Twitty will do that for birdie. Fuzzy, short by 3. Anderson for birdie. He misses. Par. Looking for net. 20 for par. 11 feet. Nope. He'll bogue. So there should be able to get a par. He does. On the tee from Northern Ireland in the 2010s, Rory McIlroy. Rory McIlroy, who won the tournament in September in Toronto, part of the 90s, 2010s. So that's how he got his ticket in. Going straight center, nice job, 277. On the tee from the Earlys, Vic Gessie. Vic Gessie from the early days. Well, I thought he was from the 1940s. No, that's a mistake. He's from the 40s. He was one of the wild card competitors to get in on a wild card, and he goes far left. On the tee from the Earlys, Horton Smith. Horton Smith, who also came in through a wild card and an Augusta icon. Not really the best shot in the world. Guess he's going to have a tough angle. He's going to have a bad day at a Human Torch. Up and up and over. Oh man. Rory. Ew. Well, it is Augusta after all. They don't want anyone to crush the competition. Or so they say. Rory does that. Pardon? Oh, baby. For par. Way off. For bogey. Jensen for bogey. Nice job. Nice job to save bogey. McIlroy will take a par. On the tee from the 1970s, Rod Funseth. Rod Funseth, who won the Bay Hill thing in October. In the 60s, 70s, that's how he got into this tournament. And he goes near that bunker, but he's safe. On the tee from the 2000s, Tiger Woods. Tiger Woods, the fan favorite. Twice he was a runner-up in the early 2000s, guys. got in as a wild card. He actually got in at the expense of Andrew Straff because with his second runner-up finish, he actually had it better. He actually was allowed to take 7th place and then take out who was 6th, and that was Straff. On the tee from the 1980s, Gary Cook. And Gary Cook, who won the 40s 80s first tournament at the Country Club. Phone call coming. So anyway, 2 pars and a bogey by Cook. On the tee from the 1980s, Bobby Nichols. Well, that's a mistake. He's from the 1960s. Bobby Nichols, who won in February at Scottsdale in the 60s, 70s tour. That's why he got it to Augusta. On the tee from the 2000s, Phil Mickelson. Phil Mickelson, one of the legends, lefty. He actually had to go through a wild card round to get this guy. On the tee from the earlies, Jack White. Jack White, who actually had 2 second-place finishes and got in through a wild card. He's here. Up and over. White. Mickelson. Way off. And that. White. Was it close? For birdie. Close. Oh, take it apart. Mickelson for par. Got it. White's par. Nope. Just couldn't have 3 guys with par. Quadruple bogey by Gary Cook, so needless to say, he's not doing so well. On a tee from the 90s, Greg Norman. Greg Norman, who won the match play at Austin in the 90s 2010s thing. That's why he's got his ticket to Augusta. Also down in the summer. On the tee from the 1940s, Ben Hogan. Ben Hogan won in April at the match play, the par 3 matchup for the 40s 80s. So Hogan, that's how Hogan got his spot in. Tournament. On the tee from the 1980s, Dave Stockton. Dave Stockton, who actually they screwed up. He's from the 1970s. Okay, sorry, I have to take another phone call. So a birdie by Greg Norman, the first man to actually get a birdie here on 1. Well, granted, it's 15 people. On the tee from the 1970s, Ray Floyd. Ray Floyd, who took 2nd place in the tournament but got in on a wild card, so that's why he's here. And look out, that's going to the right. On the tee from the 1940s, Joe Tenessa. That's a mistake. He's from the earlies, and he won at East Lake in August in the early 2000s tournament. That's why he's here. Wow, that's a mistake. On the tee from the 1960s, Dave Hill. Dave Hill, who also took about, oh wow, off the tree and went into the pine straw. Wow, wow, wow. And there. Stubborn. Fuck. Stubborn. 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 Curl, 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 spin, spin, spin. Beautiful. Like Vanessa. Ray Floyd does that. For birdie. Ah, bogey. So Ray Floyd has a double bogey after that. Not good. Going for par? Got it. Vanessa has a bogey. 4.4 shots. That's weird. On the tee from the 1940s, Jimmy Demaret. Jimmy Demaret, who is in as a wild card, one of the wild card guys from the 40s, 80s, who did well at tournament. Now, of course, second chance tournament, you have to be a second place golfer at a tournament to have a second chance. On the tee from the earlies, Old Tom Morris. Old Tom Morris, who won in May at Oak Hill. So that's why he's here. On the tee from the earlies, James Braid. And James Braid, who won the last tournament of the early 2000s. That match play that got him into this mess. Well, mess in quotation marks. Morris does that. Demerit. Up and a little too much there. Great. What's that? Demerit. What's that? For birdie. Oh, I thought he had it. Great, we got a par. Morris for birdie. Oh, it slid away. Demerit for par. Nope, no bog. Our Trny Eagles, so he's trying. Fuzzy Seller now the leader after 8 holes, so he's trying to do everything as long as he keeps his mouth shut. You know what I mean. If you know, you know. On the tee from the 1960s, Arnold Palmer. Arnold Palmer, who won a runner-up spot at a tournament and had to get in the back door through the wild card. That's why he's here. On the tee from the 2010s, John Rahm. John Rahm won the tournament in June at Pebble Beach. So that's why he's here. On the tee from the 1990s, Tom Lehman. And Tom Lehman from the 1990s, who won. Did he win a tournament? No, he took 2 runner-up finishes in the 1990s group. But thankfully, he won a spot there. So that's why he's here. Rahm is stuck in a bad spot. Lehman. And Palmer. Lehman. Well, he's close to the pin. Rahm. Spins away from the hole. For birdie. Nope. Rahm for bogey. That's a double bogey for John Rahm. Good start. Palmer for par. And Lehman for par. Let's go Buffalo. On the tee from the 1960s, Frank Beard. Frank Beard, who took a second place at a tournament and got into the wild card round. That's why he's here. On the tee from the earlies, Ralph Goodall. Ralph Goodall, who won the tournament at St. Andrews in July for the early 2000s. That's why he's here. Nice job in the center. On the tee from the 1960s, Julius Boros. And Julius Boros, who won at Austin in November. So that's why he's here. Well, from the 60s, 70s, he won here. Up and over. Frank Beard. Julius Boros. That wind has just been terrible on everyone's face today. Everyone knows that how tough it's going to be. You know, this is Augusta. And it'll be best on best. For par. Nope, he'll bog. Rose for par. Nope, he'll bog. And Beard for par. Man, lots of bogeys today. tee from the 1980s, Seve Ballesteros. So Seve, who won at Bay Hill in October for the 40s, 80s, so that's why he's here in Augusta. To the left. On the tee for the 1970s, Lee Trevino. Lee Trevino had 2 second-place finishes before winning the tournament at St. Andrews in July for the 60s, 70s. That's why he got in. On the tee for the 2010s, Bubba Watson. And Bubba Watson, who had a second-place finish. How did he get in? Did I mistake one? Because Bubba Watson should not have gotten in. Did I mistake him for someone else? I might have mistook him for someone else. Because I don't see Bubba Watson being a top 2 golfer. I might have screwed up. I might have taken out, like, Jason Day or Shane Lowry. That just doesn't make sense why he's in somehow. Not because he's an Augusta native, but... Yeah, I have to take a look to see if I had mistook him for someone else. I bet you that's the one that's... It was supposed to be like Shane Lowry or something. Yeah, because I don't see why I had Bubba Watson, unless I mistook him for someone else. And like Shane Lowry's not here. Well, that's it. For birdie. He missed. For par. Trevino's got par. Watson doesn't have a par. Seve doesn't have a par either. Wow. A pair of bogeys later. I don't know why he's here. On the team from the 2010s, David Lakemerf. Lakemerf, who won in October at Bay Hill in the 2010s. That's why he's here. Queen. On the team from the 1960s, Paul Trny. Paul Trny won in April the par 3 match play thing from the 60s, 70s. A lot of people were shocked he got in, but he deserved it. On the tee for the 1970s, Tom Watson. Tom Watson's from the 1980s. They completely goofed up on that one. He won in December at the great 40s, 80s. He won December's tournament, match play tournament to qualify. Up and over. We're almost halfway through the 72 golfers on the first hole, and then we'll give you the right now the scoring update. I betcha I left Lowry out. For birdie. Oh my God! What magic from Tom Watson! What a birdie! Trny for par. Good job. Lakemerf for par. Dave Stockton Eagles. He's at -1, 2 shots behind the leader. Group 12 on the tee from the 80s. Eddie Bean, who actually in real life actually deceased. He won at Pebble Beach in June in the 40s, 80s. That's why he's here. Whoa, that's why left. On the team from the 1960s, Bob Goldby. You can hear a smattering of boos because of Goldby's history with the 68 Masters. Goldby won at Glen Abbey in Toronto for the 60s, 70s tournament. So that's why he's here. On the team from the 90s, Ian Woosnam. And Ian Woosnam, who was one of the lucky runner-ups in the 1910s to move on. Andy Bean's got some tight angles, so he plays it. Bobby. He losing them. Andy B. Andy B. Oh wow, he almost pulled it off the green for a board. That would have been amazing if he had got it through. And Woosnam was close. Got it. Woosnam. Empty. All even cars. 12 groups have been done. So right now, Phil Mickelson, Bobby Nichols, and Greg Norman are all at 300 par with the leads right now. So that's halfway through the golfers who have hit the first tee. I have a funny feeling Shane Lowry is the guy that somehow didn't get in. But anyway, on the tee from the earlies, McDonald Smith. Max Smith, who took second place at a tournament and got in with the wild card, so that's why he's here. On the tee from the 80s, Larry Nelson. Larry Nelson, who also got in through a wild card tournament. On the tee from the 60s, Bruce Devlin. That picture does not do him justice, but yeah, Bruce Devlin won at Pebble Beach in June in the 60s, 70s. So that's why he's here at Augusta. For birdie. Ooh, it's close. Devlin for birdie. Nope. Nelson for birdie. He's got that. It's a par. And Devlin for par. On the tee from the 90s, Corey Pavin. Corey Pavin, who won the first 90s 2010s tournament in Australia at Royal Melbourne. He's here. On the tee from the 2010s, Louis Oosthuizen. Oosthuizen, who won in February of that same tour 90s 10s. That's why he's here. He won it at Scottsdale. On the tee from the 40s, Herman Barron. And Herman Barron, who won the 40s 80s September tournament in Toronto. So that's why he's here. All three guys have won the tournament. That's why they've got themselves. All you have to do is win a tournament. That's the easiest road to Augusta. Herman Barron. Curling shot. Bruce Hazen. And Corey Pavin. Barron. Bruce Hazen. For par. Pavin. Barron. Bruce Hazen. For par. J.B. Anderson now is at -1 for 15. There you go. On your tee from the 1940s, Byron Nelson. Byron Nelson, legendary golfer who had to go through the back door at wildcard. At this far. On the tee from the 1960s, Dave Reagan. And Dave Reagan, who won the 60s, 70s Great Holes tournament, the December tournament, to get that final automatic spot. On the tee from the 1970s, Hale Irwin. Hale Irwin, who won in March of the 60s, 70s at Sawgrass. That's why he's here. And he goes wide left. super birdie. He's gonna go for it. I don't know, he should have just lagged it. You are allowed to lag it. Nelson for par? No. He moves. Hanging? Nope. It's a bogey. On the tee from the 1990s, Jim Gallagher. Jim Gallagher in July at St. Andrews, winning 90s 10s, coming very unheralded, if you will. On the tee from the Oilers, Leo Dago. Leo Dago, who won the January tournament at Turnberry for the early 2000s, so that's why he got in, one of the first golfers to get in. On the tee from the 1990s, Nick Faldo. And Nick Faldo, who had a second place at a tournament, he got in the back door. After this, we'll have 2/3 of the golfers who are in this tournament I already talked about. Birdie. Oh! There you go. Misses. Bogey. Paulo's gonna have a double bogey. There you go. That's a bogey. Gallagher for par. Yeah. On the two from the earlies, Alan Robertson. Alan Robertson, who took second at the last tournament of the early 2000s, but got in himself with a wild card. On the two from the 2000s, Thomas Morgan. Thomas Morgan put himself in as member of the 2000s. He won in September in Glen Abbey, which shocked a lot of people because he's from the Red Sox fan and friends thing. On the tee from the 1940s, Kerry Middlecoff. And Kerry Middlecoff, who won in March at Sawgrass in the 40s, 80s tour. That's that. Robertson. What a shot by Middlecoff. Double bogey for Robertson. Morgan for bogey. On a tee from the 1960s, Charles Coe. Charles Coe, who won at East Lake in August in the 60s, 70s tournament. That's why he's here. Anyway, on the tee for the 1940s, Dutch Harrison. Butch Harrison at St. Andrews, winning the July 40s 80s tournament. That's why he's here. Nicely done, Mike Sutter. On the tee for the 2010s, and the defending Augusta champion, Jason Day. So Jason Day, the defending Augusta champion, he won last year, and he also earned a spot. Well, he took second place in 2 tournaments in the 90s 10s, and managed to do well in the runner-up tournament to warrant a free trip to Augusta that way. Harrison does that. Jason Day. That doesn't look good to me. But remember, this is a 4-round tournament, not 1. Dave misses his par putt. A rare birdie on the first hole by someone. Harrison. He puts in a birdie. So those 2 guys get birdies when Dave gets a bogey. So that's not a good start for Dave. But remember, there's still 17 holes left today. Hey. On the tee from the 1990s, Davis Love III. Davis Love III that won the East Lake tournament in August for 90s 10s. So that's why he's here. And then he hits a bunker. On the tee from the 40s, Bobby Locke. Bobby Locke winning February in the 40-80 tournament in Scottsdale. So that's his ticket to Augusta. That's that down the center. On the tee from the early's Johnny Farrell. Johnny Farrell, that kind of looks like Johnny Galecki from Big Bang Theory. He won in February at Scottsdale in the early 2000s. That's why he's here. That's that. Up and over. And that's Mike Farrell. Okay. Farrell. Not good. Oh, that's a little too much. Lock. Nice shot there. Davis Love III for birdie? Nope. Farrell for par? No. Lock for par. Not gonna pop it. Love for par. Got it. 2 pars and a bogey. I don't know what group we're on. I know there's 24 groups of 3 to start with first 2 rounds. On the tee from the 1990s, Payne Stewart. Well, he's from the 80s, actually, Payne Stewart, but he was a runner-up one time. So he got in with the backdoor tournament. On the tee from the 1980s, Ben Crenshaw. Ben Crenshaw, who won the... Oh, he didn't win. Sorry, he was a runner-up and got in backdoor. In the backdoors tournament. On the tee from the 2010s, Jordan Spieth. And Jordan Spieth, who won in March at, no, sorry, April at the Par 3s match play. That's why he's here. I'm thinking that Watson got in instead of Lowry for some strange reason. It would be crazy if Bubba Watson actually did make the cut. It was supposed to be Shane Lowry's. Nope. And shuffle card. Oop. Spiritual card. Nice. 2 pars. Joe Tenez at triple bogey on 16, not good. Uzuse's an eagle, so he's trying to chase. Group 21 is coming up. On the tee from the 1940s, Bill Melhorn. He's actually from the earlies. Bill Melhorn, who won at Bay Hill in October in the early 2000s. here, a nice jump there. On the team from the 2010s, Ross Fisher. And Ross Fisher, who won the last 90s 2010s tournament, the Great Holes, to get this ticket to Augusta. On the team for the 1980s, Isaac Aoki. And Isaac Aoki, who won at Oak Hill in May for the 40s 80s. That's why he's here. And he does that. Fisher. Melhorn. Release that. Last Fisher. And Aoki. Oof. Three parts. That's good. On the tee from the 1940s, Freddie Haas. Freddie Haas, who won in Austin for the 40s, 80s. And that. On the team from Ireland, Shane Lowry. And Shane Lowry, who ran a runner-up thing. So, he's not Wisconsin. Maybe it's Dustin Johnson. I don't think I've called Dustin Johnson's name. I think I mistook him for Justin. Well, anyway, on the team from the 1990s, Paul Azinger. And Paul Azinger, who won in May at Oak Hill for the 90s 2010s. That's why he's here. He does that. Lowry. Here's Jeffrey Messenger for par. Nope. Out the boat. Haas for birdie. Nice job by Freddie Haas getting on the board quickly with a birdie. Second last group coming up. On the tee from the 2010s, Matt Kuchar. Got Matt Kuchar, who won in March at Sawgrass. So that's why he's here. Bubba Watson wasn't from the 2000s, or was he? Oh no, Bubba Watson was from the 2000s group. My apologies, that's why he's here. Bubba Watson's from the 2000s, not 2010s. He won at Austin in the earlies and 2000s. My mistake. On the two from the earlies, John Ball. John Ball, who was the winner of the par 3 match play in April. That's why he's here. So Bubba Watson came from the other group. I thought he was from the 2010s. My fault. On the team from the 2010s, Dustin Johnson. And there's DJ, who came in through the back door. Yeah, okay. So Watson was misrepresented. I thought he was from the 2010s. It would make sense. John Paul. Dustin Johnson. John Ball. Matt Kuchar. DJ for par. Oh, just not enough. For par. Kuchar. Three more golfers to go, and then we can kind of call it a day. Thomas Morgan, Eagles on 8, so he's at 3 under par. Wow, he's looking good. On the team for the 1960s, Billy Casper. Billy Casper, who won in May at Oak Hill for the 60s, 70s. That's why he's here. Next center. On the team from the 2000s, Sergio Garcia. Sergio Garcia winning in March at Sawgrass for the early 2000s. That's why he's here. And in the middle. And finally, on the team from the 1970s, Tom Weiskopf. And Tom Weiskopf, who came into the back door of a tournament. So, Weiskopf, the 72nd and final golfer to tee off at Augusta for this tournament. And to the back end. Weiskopf. Nice job by Sergio. Nice shot there. Casper for birdie. Casper will take a par. Weiskopf for par. Bogey. Sergio for birdie. Back footer. Got it. So that's all. So right now, Seve and Andy Bean are at 4 under par. We'll just tee off till the end. AB's now the leader. Dribblability by speed. Wow. Jim Gallagher is your leader. Well, we have a leader, and a big leader. Jim Gallagher, 7 under par 65. What a job by him. From the 1990s, Gallagher birdied on 2, 8, 10, 13, 15, 16, 18 to take it. Andy Bean, the recently deceased golfer IRL, from the 1980s, he's second at 5 under par, and a 3-way tie for third between Thomas Morgan, Kerry Middlecoff, and Bill Malhorn. Thomas Morgan pulling off some kind of stunner. Well, despite the fact he had 2 bogeys, he had 4 birdies and a eagle on 8. Jack White and Seve Ballesteros at 3 under par, tied for 6, and rounding out the top 10 at -2, Phil Gassi, Rod Funsa, Phil Mickelson, Dave Hill, James Braid, Tom Lehman, Lee Trevino, Bruce Devlin, Charles Coe, Ben Crenshaw, and Matt Kuchar. On the other side of the coin, John Rahm with a surprising 7 over par. Ray Floyd at 7 over par. Sergio Garcia at 6 over par. That's a surprise by the Spaniards. Frank Beard 6 over par. Rory McIlroy surprisingly at 6 over par. So that's huge. And Jason Day, the defending champion, is tied for 35th. So as of right now, the cut line would be 1 under par, so there would be 27 golfers. 19th place is -1, but remember, it's top 20 and ties. So, as of right now, there would be 27 golfers that would be going to the weekend. As you can see, the -1s, well, you see Ruff Goodall, Max Smith, Larry Nelson, Hale Irwin, Bobby Locke, Payne Stewart, Dustin Johnson, Tom Weiskopf, just above the cut line. Whereas people like Fuzzy Seller, Greg Norman, Old Tom Morris, Julius Boros, Tom Watson, Herman Barron, and Oosthuizen are just one behind the cut line. But remember, it is just one round, so anything can change. The cut line could change for the better or for the worse, depending on your point of view or who you're cheering for. So anyway, that's all from round 1. Round 2, as I said, we'll have the 18 full for everybody. So enjoy it while you can. Anyhow, I'm Jeff Diamond. I do.